All right. So last week we talked about the Pythagorean theorem is specific for what kind of triangles? Right triangles, where a squared plus b squared equals c squared. C is the hypotenuse, and it is across from the right angle. Okay? So we've worked with the Pythagorean theorem. Hey, is this a right triangle? Not a right triangle. But the most important thing we need to be able to do with it, and what you'll be asked to do more of, is find a missing side. Okay? So look at number 1, and I want everybody just to write down a squared plus b squared equals c squared. That's the Pythagorean theorem. We're going to use it when we have a right triangle. Okay? Now, which one in this picture is the hypotenuse? So I'm going to write C right there, and I'm going to write A and B next to the other two. Okay? That way we know where to put these numbers. Now, if I put A next to 5 and B next to 12, would that be okay? Yes. It would be okay. A and B can be switched around, but C has to be the hypotenuse. So now what we have is 12 squared plus 5 squared equals x squared. Okay, what is 12 squared? 144. And 5 squared? 25. It's 25. You keep going, bud. You do you. Okay, now we need to add these together. 144 plus 25. This is your friendly reminder that you don't get a calculator.
Wait, did you say add or what did you say?
Yeah, so do you see how there's a plus right here? We just added those together.
Oh, yeah, I kind of see it.
Okay, you kind of see it.
Oh, good job.
Yeah? Ooh, Landon is asking, do we put 13 as the answer? What do you think?
Yes.
Okay, so how did he get 13?
13 squared.
Doing the thing, I don't remember. Yeah,
Yes. How do we, because I want x equals, right? So how do we undo a square? We unsquare, which is a square root. So I'm going to take the square root of both sides, and when we do that, Landon is saying that the square root of 169 is 13. I know, it ran away. Nothing. If you weren't watching, you don't know. Did you have a question, or was that? Okay. It's so easy. Okay. Then could you do this for me? We are going to go to number 4. And in number 4, could you just set up a squared plus b squared equals c squared with where you think the number should go? All right. Matthew, what'd you write down? Okay, so you put x here. So A, B, C. So you have, could you stop doing that? You're making me nervous. 12 squared plus 9 squared equals x squared. Yeah? Okay, so now I need to know what 144 plus 81 is. Oh, that was quick, 225. Okay, when we get to this point, and this is what I'm a little nervous about, when we get to this point, how do we undo a square? We need to take the square root, and what is it, Temperance? The square root of 225 is 15. Now, we have a couple things we need to be kind of like on the lookout for, okay? I have only done problems with you where the hypotenuse is missing. Look at number 5. We know the hypotenuse.
So I see 400.
Which one's the hypotenuse in number 5? So I'm going to label this A, B, C. So what we have is x squared plus 8 squared equals 10 squared. Please make sure you put the hypotenuse all by its lonesome over here. Okay. If you have 8 squared plus x squared, that's fine. So the biggest thing is that the hypotenuse is across from the right angle, and it's 10. Okay? Okay, that's why we're doing this. You have to put your hypotenuse all by itself. Okay, so what is 8 squared? 64. And what is 10 squared?
100.
Okay. So do I write 164? What is in between 64 and 100? There is an equal sign. And if I want x squared to be by itself, what do I need to do with 64? We need to subtract 64. What's 100 minus 64? 36. Okay. When we get x squared equals a number, we're going to square root both sides so we can get our answer. In this case, x equals 6.
Quit laughing.
Okay. We're going to do one more problem together. Because while all of these have worked out to be beautiful, perfect squared numbers, that's not going to happen all the time. That would be cool, but it's not going to, like I'm telling you right now. So we're going to go to number 7 on the top of the next page. Number 7 on the top of the next page. First of all, which one is the hypotenuse? 9 is the hypotenuse because it's across from the right angle. So I'm going to put a C there to remind myself. So I have x squared plus 4 squared equals 9 squared. Cool. 4 squared and 9 squared. Okay. What operation do we need to do with 81 and 16? Okay. Since it's on the other side of the equal sign, we need to subtract. Ugh, KU colors, that's gross. What is 81 minus 16? 65. Remember, you're doing this without a calculator. So if you need to come over here, 81 minus 16, and we say, okay, 1 minus 6 I can't do, so I'm going to borrow. 11 minus 6 is 5, and now I have 7 minus 1 is 6. Okay. Now, here we have x squared equals 65. I'm going to square root both sides. Is 65 a perfect square?
No.
65 is not a perfect square. So we have to leave our answer as an irrational number. Your answer is the square root of 65. End of story.